Now, from 41 Action Sports, here's Monday Morning Quarterback, sponsored by TDR Auto Plaza, changing the way used cars are sold. Located on I-35 in Kearney, Missouri.
So much easier when the Chiefs play on Sunday and we have like hindsight on our side. We're much more accurate now. You know, the primetime game, they're playing on Monday night, so we have to forecast it, and boy, I'm horrible at that. Hopefully these guys are good at it. Seren Petro, Brad Porter, and Blair Kirchhoff here on Monday Morning Quarterback. Guys, we appreciate it. Can we get a noon game on Sunday for crying out loud? When's the last time they had one of those? They've had one of those this season.
That's actually something to talk about. I mean, with their last couple of games, they have not had any kind of normalcy or regularity to their schedule, which we know coaches love. So if they come through this first half of the season at 6-2 with all the different times they've had to play, that is an account for Andy Reid and his staff. It's kind of a first world problem in that they're going to have 6 primetime games, but it is kind of a problem. They're not doing it's a lot of weeks. A Wednesday is a Friday, and sometimes a Friday is a Saturday. Who knows? Whatever. We're going to talk about this game tonight. It's going to be the Broncos and the Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. Seren, let's start with you. What's your number one thing? I mean, defense is what we've talked about all week long. Does it continue to be the talking point? It absolutely is, because this Bronco offense is hurting. They're middle of the pack yardage-wise, but points-wise, they're really hurting. They don't have the ability to get it in. There's no Hall of Fame quarterback. They're throwing the ball into the end zone, piling up the points. Their running game has been okay. But, yeah, this is a team that the Chiefs defense needs to get healthy on. And I don't like what I'm hearing out of Bob Sutton. And listen, I remember, maybe I'm the only one who actually paid attention when other coaches talked, but 14 years ago, I listened to Bob Sutton and I listened to Greg Robinson, and he sounded exactly like Bob Sutton, talking about technique and tightening a couple of things up and just a couple of big plays here and there. Their defense has been atrocious the last 2 weeks. And unless they're willing to admit that and understand that they've got a problem, right? Isn't that the old thing? You can't fix a problem until you first admit you've got a problem. Right now, I hear them acting like they don't really have a problem, and they got a big problem on that side of the ball.
I mean, Brad, this was an offense for Oakland that was struggling, and the Chiefs made them look otherworldly, right? This is a great litmus test, because it's Trevor Siemian, and it's a horrible offense. When they're winning games, they're scoring 16 points. They've scored 10 points total the last 2 weeks. If they look good, I mean, come on, right?
I'm still trying to get my mind refocused after hearing Greg Robinson's name again. I thought I'd banished that.
I hadn't heard that one in a while either.
The nether regions of my memory pod somewhere. I thought it was gone. But I think Seren's absolutely right. It's got to be the defense. They've got to show up. And you mentioned if you keep doing the same thing over and over, it's the definition of insanity. And if Bob Sutton is saying, well, you know, dropping Justin Houston back into coverage X number of times, that's just what we do. It's kind of our scheme. Or if it's part of what the opponents are showing him, that's wrong. He's one of the best pass rushers in the National Football League. And if he's healthy, which we know his knee is banged up now, you got to turn him loose. And the other matchup I'm going to look at in this game is Chiefs right tackle Mitchell Schwartz versus Von Miller. Because even though the Broncos are struggling on offense, they still have a pretty good defense, and Von Miller is still one of the most disruptive forces in the National Football League.
Yep, and Shane Ray coming back, the Kansas City kid for the Broncos as well this week. But Blair, I guess, though, they're still 5-2. You get a win tonight. You can maybe breathe a sigh of relief in that, okay, you're up 3 games in the win column from everybody else in the division, to where, like, this could be kind of a big game.
Yeah, I think it is a big game for sure. And look, Andy Reid's got a few extra days to prepare for this. They haven't played since a week ago Thursday, and we all know about the Andy Reid record with some extra time to prepare. You mentioned Shane Ray coming back because he started the season on injured reserve. So did Steven Nelson, the cornerback for the Chiefs, who started the year because he had surgery on his stomach, and now he's scheduled to come back, and I think we're going to see him activated later today, and that'll be good news. I'm not sure he'll be up to game speed. Look, Shane Ray's going to start tonight, is what we're told, but Steven Nelson, I think, will play. If he's activated, he'll play, and that should help a little bit with the Chiefs defense, because we can talk about the lack of pressure, and there has been that. They didn't come close to sacking Derek Carr in the Raiders game. They got to get to Trevor Siemian, who was sacked 5 times in his previous game when the Broncos were shut out by the Chargers. They absolutely have to get some pressure and make him uncomfortable. And part of that, though, is coverage, and the coverage would improve when Steven Nelson gets back there.
Well, let's be honest. Let's go ahead and set the precedent. If they lose to Denver, that's 3 in a row. And what do we say then? Because, you know, I get it. All right, if they win, they're 6-2. We look at that. We always look at it from the optimistic standpoint. But I do think you have to say, okay, at some point you've got to draw a line in the sand. And the problem is when you look at this defensive coaching staff, there's nobody that you go, oh, wow, here's a young up-and-comer, right? Matt Nagy maybe is that guy as an offensive coordinator, a younger guy who might have some bright ideas. You see Sean McVay out with the Rams, was a young guy, offensive coordinator with the Redskins, gets the Rams job. Everyone's wondering, why did he get it? Well, now you see, completely turns a quarterback around. Well, those guys exist on defense as well, but they're not on this staff. You look at Emmett Thomas, God bless him, he's a chief, he's great. That's all awesome and everything, but he's old. And Gary Gibbs, at linebacker coach, has been around forever. Bob Sutton, defensive coordinator, has been around forever. I don't know, maybe Britt Reed, the D-line coach, Andy Reid's son, is that guy. But, you know, listen, if they do not contain the Denver Broncos, alarms have to go off, and I think fans have to react like they did in 2014 when the Royals fell below 500. And I believe pushed the Royals to that postseason drive because they said, listen, this isn't good enough just kind of being around. 10-6 and dying in the first round of the playoffs is not going to get it done this year.
Well, and that's a good point in that. Like, when was the last time they lost 3 in a row? It was probably, 2015 season when they started off 1-5, right?
Yeah, that was. And in 14, they had a long losing streak.
Through all this, playing this way, because they've had the same schemes both offensively and defensively for 4 years now, they've at least pretty much won 3 out of every 4 games. They're not losing back-to-back games. If it's 3 in a row, I agree with Soren. What do you guys think? Those alarms going off, and it ain't like it's it's the Steelers, but it's a home game. But it's the Raiders and the Broncos, 2 teams you've dominated for the past few years.
And 2 teams that have been mediocre the rest of the season.
Right. Absolutely, all games you're favored in too. By the way,
you don't want to waste this offense. Look at what this offense is having a remarkable year. Alex Smith is on his way to an MVP season. His numbers are phenomenal. You've got the rookie running back of your dreams in Kareem Hunt. You got Tyreek Hill playing the Z as well as maybe anybody in the NFL. Yes, great tight ends. You can't waste this offense. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they've invested. I mean, they should have all the – Blair's right. They should have everything they need and do have everything they need on offense, and they're delivering. But the defense is an absolute no-show.
And Bob Sutton's going to find himself in a spot where Andy Reid is going to have to go out and bring in a consultant. And when a consultant gets hired, that means he's going to be in your room. He's going to be writing down everything you say. And within a week or 2, he's going to have your job.
I maybe will. I don't know. Do you guys think that's something that Andy Reid would do? I mean, they've been by each other's side for years now. Yeah.
It's 5 years in. If it's not fixed by now, and if they're getting danger of, oh no, we may not make the playoffs, they're going to have to make a move.
Well, and I think that's the fear is that here you are, the motor's running, everything's ready to go. It's like the 03 Chiefs. That offense was historic. Defense couldn't stop anybody. Everybody knew that the Greg Robinson schemes weren't working. Dick Vermeil was too loyal and wouldn't make the change. And this season right now has all the makings of being an exact replica. They are awful defensively. I want to be clear. Awful. They've been torched through the air. They've been torched on the ground. And if they don't get it turned around, yeah, absolutely, Bob Sutton's got to go. And frankly, if Bob Sutton doesn't go, if this would continue the rest of the year and they bow out early in the playoffs and he doesn't fire Bob Sutton, then Andy Reid should be fired. Same thing should have happened with Dick Vermeil. You had pieces there, but he just kept holding on and kept holding on. Once you know it's broken, somebody's got to fix it. And if the guy you're paying to fix it won't do it, get a new guy.
And listen, if you listen to Andy Reid and paid attention to his comments this past week, and I know, Soren, you guys laugh about it on the radio, he talks 2.5 to 3.5 minutes a day. But when given the opportunity to talk about Bob Sutton and say, do you go in there and talk about it? Do you go in and help? He's like, that's what we do. He said nothing at all about Bob Sutton.
It's a gift. Just talk forever and not say a word.
Less than nothing.
Yeah. It is. All right, it's before the game. We might as well get predictions. Chiefs and Broncos tonight. How do you think this one goes? Blair, you're up first.
Low scoring. I think 19-13, 19-14, something like that. And the Chiefs contain Jamal Charles.
Oh, okay. Brad?
I'll go 22-12 in favor of the Chiefs.
22-12. Oh, that old football score.
Right? 22-12.
The old 22-12.
You got to look at the over-under and the spread and all that.
Yeah.
We looked it up.
Is that 11 safeties? I don't know. How do you get there?
We looked it up. There's never been a 15-11 game, by the way, in the history of the NFL. So I'm tempted after Brad said that to go for the old 15-11.
Is that true? There hasn't been one?
There's never been a 15-11 game in the NFL. I'll go. This is what I said this week, and I'll stick with it. 31-13 Chiefs. All that being said, I do think the Broncos are the kind of offense that can make this Chiefs defense look good. They can still. They've got to create turnovers. They've only forced 8 turnovers this year. That's tied for 19th, which is also 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd in the NFL. They're not taking it away. They're not giving it away, so that plus-minus still looks really good, but they're not taking it away. I think they'll take it away against the Denver Broncos. Turnovers equal big wins, and I think the Chiefs will get it done.
Chiefs put up 33 last year at home against the Broncos, and the offense is better. I'm going to say 27 points.
500 yards of total offense.
Yeah, 27 points for the Chiefs, 20 for the Broncos. By the way, that's my prediction every single week is 27-20. Like that's right in the middle right there. It's the opposite of 15-11. Guys, thanks so much. We appreciate the time.
Absolutely.
Thanks to you for watching Monday Morning Quarterback.
This has been Monday Morning Quarterback, sponsored by TDR Auto Plaza, changing the way used cars are sold. Located on I-35 in Kearney, Missouri.